Welcome to Life Esteem, a program committed to delivering information to you and your community.
Hello and welcome again to Life Esteem. Always glad to have you as a viewer to this program. We try to bring you good information and great people to meet, and today is no exception. We have with us Carla Hill, and she's the founder of Blessed to Give. But she also wears another hat, and that is the director of the Central Pennsylvania Sickle Cell. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, Sickle Cell, okay. We'll talk about both of those, but we're really going to talk mostly about Blessed to Give because that's the focal today. But I just want to say at the very top, we did lose a very good friend, a person who was really committed to community, who had just gone through a chaplain's program, and she passed away from sickle cell. So we know how dangerous that disease can be, so we'll talk about that a bit too. But tell us about Blessed to Give.
Blessed to Give, the founder of Blessed to Give, I started it in 2015 to help the youth in Harrisburg, and it progressed over the years. I started with having events for them, things that they usually wouldn't be a part of because, you know, most kids play sports and every kid's not for sports. And I thought to have bigger events with different ideals so they could broaden their mind, so they could want more in life outside of the four walls. So I had started out with like candle events and arts events, agricultural events that let black and brown kids know that you can do more with farming and you can make a living of it. So I took them to farms, let them see animals, let them talk to people who are actually making a living with it. And it progressed over the years. I had an at-risk after-school program at Susquehanna Township Middle School.
Okay.
I've been at Schaffner Detention Center with a parent program because I feel that it's bigger than the kids. If you keep helping the kids and sending them home to families that don't have the right equipped, then you're failing the kids. So I started having parent programs. And over the years, I just keep progressing and progressing with whatever's going on in our city. I try to solve it.
Well, you know, this is amazing that you say this because Pat and I currently are leading what's called the AXO program.
Yes.
And so we're looking for students, okay, that will branch off into many different areas. In fact, there are 33 different areas that students can participate in. So we definitely want to talk to you after this program about how to reach some of the youth that you're working with, okay?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Well, I was really interested in Carla coming on because I was just impressed with all that she's doing and involved in our community. And with Blessed to Give, it's really touching a lot of young people and the schools that you've been able to touch and the programs. So let me just ask you, what was the impetus? How did this get started? What was it you said this is something I want to do? Well,
you know, it's funny. I went to college for law first, then I changed it to accounting and graduated for accounting. But one day, around 2014, 15, a friend of mine out of New Jersey had a youth program, and I went to support him because he was getting an award or something, and I fell in love with it from there. So actually, it's called Urban Promise. So when we came back to Harrisburg, I started Urban Promise of Harrisburg. And I mimicked them for about a year, and then I branched off into my own Blessed to Give.
Okay.
So that's how it started with me, you know, not knowing that I had a passion for kids. I mean, I always liked kids. When I was young, I babysat, you know, stuff like that, but I didn't know. And so I realized over the years that it's not that I have a passion for kids, I have a passion to help people.
Okay, yeah. And you know, you probably get some of that from, I would imagine, your father. At least I know your father. He's involved in community.
He is definitely.
For many years.
Yes.
And his name is?
Vince Hill.
Okay.
Yes, him and my mom are on my advisory board for Blessed to Give, and he sits on the sickle cell board as well.
Oh, okay.
So since retired, he has been doing a lot in the community through the two programs, and he's an Omega Psi Phi Q, and they do stuff in the community.
Okay, I'll forgive him for that part. But anyhow, come back, Vince. But this is great stuff. So how many youth do you think you're touching, you know, a year?
Wow.
Yeah.
I also work at the Harrisburg School District. So shout out to Roland Academy. That's where I work at.
Okay.
Dr. Benjamin is the principal. She's doing amazing things this year as our new principal. So by being there, I'm touching Roland.
Okay.
I'm active in John Harris as well. So I couldn't even put a name on it, how many I'm touching, because I have a lot of, we just had a 8-week program with Conrad Lewis. He's the owner of Music Man. He's been an entrepreneur through his dad for many years. Dad opening that store. That's one of the longest standing Black-owned businesses in Harrisburg. We had an 8-week entrepreneur program in the summer. So, and the beauty is I'm not just touching Harrisburg. I had Central Dauphin, Susquehanna, Swatara kids, Stilton. So it's touching all our local. And Harrisburg is so small, you know, and that's why I'm also working with the superintendents at our local schools, because the kids are jumping from areas to area, you know. So, you know, and it's been that way. You know, I might live in Susquehanna, but my cousin lives in the city. So I'm in the city. I'm here. So a lot of kids.
There are a lot of kids.
A lot of kids.
And there's a lot of movement. You just touched on something, because I did work in the school district for a bit as well. And it was amazing how many young people could be in Stilton one week, and Harrisburg the next week, and Central Dauphin 2 weeks later.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
Because they're moving, you know,
Right,
that kind
right,
of thing.
yeah. Right. And now, like with like SciTech, you can go to SciTech and play. You know, you might not live in Harrisburg School District, and you know you can be from another area. Also, like if you think of CASA,
That's right.
Yes.
CASA, you can live in another area, but it's located downtown Harrisburg. So
Sure.
it's a lot of ways you can move around and be in different areas. Votech is, you know,
Big
so.
time, big time.
Absolutely. Now, you said you just recently took on the leadership
Of sickle cell.
of
I
sickle
did.
cell. Now, how did you get involved with sickle cell?
Someone said you should. It's funny. I was talking about it last night. Someone said that you should apply for the job at sickle cell, and I'm like, me and God gotta talk about that one, right? And because I say over the years when I started with youth, and then I would say, I need to help women, and I'm like, I don't really. And God's like, that's what He said. You help people. You don't help just a certain time. So a friend of mine has sickle cell, and when they told me about the position, I understood it because of my reach in the community, how I could get the awareness out there, and I understood why they wanted me to take the position. But for me to take a position, it can't be a position. I have to be passionate about it.
That's right.
So I reached out to a friend of mine, and I was telling him, and he was like, you know, we grew up together, and I know his pain that he went through, and he said, you know, my sister, Deidre Watkins is her name. And I said, yeah, I remember her. She died of sickle cell. And he said, that's where they named South Central after her. That's how it started.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I was like, wow, that did it. And then like 2 weeks later, and this is while I'm interviewing. I don't have the job yet. A patient was in the waiting room for a long time, for almost 8 hours in crisis. And knowing my reach with connections in different organizations, I'm like, I could find someone that we got to solve that. The problem with sickle cell is it doesn't touch a lot like cancer or other bigger diseases, but it's just as painful. And a lot of the hospitals don't know how to treat a sickle cell patient, and they don't have the equipment, and they don't have the knowledge and the education. So there's no reason why a sickle cell patient should sit in a waiting room for 8 hours. So that right there was like back to me wanting to help people. I went to a meeting with Dr. Levine, and the Warriors, which is what people who have sickle cell, what we call them, spoke about their pain. And why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? Like people, I want to be a voice for the voiceless. So that's how I got into sickle cell.
Man, you know, I want to mention her name is Dawn Lewis. Dawn Lewis, that's not right. Winston, Dawn Winston. I know her, Dawn Lewis. Dawn Winston was the young lady that went through our chaplain's program, and then she passed away recently. And I didn't know, probably a lot of people didn't know she had sickle cell. You know?
Well, you know, one of the things I want to do, talking about sickle cell, some people may not be familiar with sickle cell. Can you tell them a little bit about
it's a genetic disease. It's usually found in the African American, but you don't have to be African American to have it. So basically, in layman's terms, it's your red blood cells. Your red blood cells are circle. And sickle cell patients, they're sickle. They get real sticky. They get caught up in your body. They don't pass oxygen through it as well. And that's when the pain happens. And it attacks body parts that can cause death at one point. There's ways to treat it, but there's no cure yet. So that's basically, and the importance of sickle cell awareness is that you have to have the trait.
Right.
And then if your spouse has the trait, there's a high percentage that if you have a child that they will have the actual disease. So a lot of people are walking around with the traits and not knowing because they're not getting screened that they have the trait, or they might have got screened at birth and they just did this, you know, throughout the years. So we're not saying like, well, if I have the trait, you have a trait, we shouldn't have a baby, but you have to be aware of what's going to happen if you do decide to.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what happens is the mom might know or the dad, one of them doesn't know.
Right.
And then they don't know until they have the baby with the disease.
You know, back to youth, there are a lot of folks out here who we want to, you know, work with the young people. They want to get involved a little bit, but they find teenagers in particular to be difficult. Okay. What is the greatest challenge that you faced, and what do you think you could, what advice can you give to folks who are, you know, kind of at the wits end, they're not sure what to do or how to do it in terms of that one population? At one point, I remember Pat and I, you know, we were involved with a lot of things, but anyhow, they would say that the group between 14 and 18 was kind of the lost generation. Nobody wanted to deal with them.
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite? Talk about that.
I don't like little ones.
You don't like little ones?
No. I like middle school. I like middle school, high school, but I really love middle school.
Okay.
All right.
I feel middle school, I feel sometimes in high school, I feel anybody can be saved. Let's start there.
Okay.
It's easier in middle school than it is in high school. Sometimes by the time they get to high school, they're far gone.
I hear that all the time.
And it's above my pay grade to bring them back. Okay. I think for my biggest challenges, I can't touch them all. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I'm a big kid. I'm a professional, but I'm a big kid. I think they allow me to get in because I can relate to them.
Okay.
I've had, you know, I've been 20 at one time and I wasn't always perfect. So I have experiences. I still listen to their music, not all their music, but some of their music. So I can get them on that level. I think the biggest thing for someone who wants to work with youth is you have to meet them where they are. You can't talk above them and you can't preach to them.
Oh, boy.
That's the biggest thing, because if they feel like you're preaching to them, then you sound like their parents, and they don't want to hear
I
that.
found it out the hard way.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
You have to find a way to build a trust with them, and then once you have the trust, they just open up. Because I do feel that teens, not with youth overall want structure. You know, they want love.
Yes.
They want something. They're just not getting it, and they're rebellion. You know, and that's where the between idle time and ignorance, because there's 18,000 books on parenting, but that's not the child you have in front of you.
That's right.
So when I say there's no book on it, it's like because every child's different, and every parent is not. And who do we blame? Because everybody, the first thing that happens, they want to blame the parents. It is the parents sometimes. Sometimes it's the school. It's a lot to blame. You know. Sometimes it's the kid. You know. But
That's right.
yeah, like it's just for me, I have something that I can get them to open up to me and become my bestie. And once they you got to become their bestie, but still let them know that you respect you as an adult.
That's right.
And if you could get those two, then you got them.
Got 'em.
Okay, so you're kind of the Pied Piper, huh?
Yeah, right. You got to get both of them.
Right, absolutely. So in the work that you've been doing in the community, you're touching so many young people, but also adults, okay?
Yes.
And all that you've been able to provide. And one of the things we talked about prior to coming doing the taping is you have developed relationships with the superintendents. Talk about that.
Absolutely. I think it's important for all the superintendents. So I have a group, it's called Urban Impact Harrisburg. And what we did is, it just started, but I took community members that I knew that were prominent in the community, respected in the community, and also does right by the community. You know, it's a lot. I'm really big on equity, you know, and making sure you're doing the right things in the community when you get your funding or whatever it is. So it's important how you walk outside and how you walk inside.
That's right.
So the people that I think I got a good group, and we have to touch the schools because that's where the kids are. So I partnered also with the Stilton superintendent, Mr. Isrick, Mr. Turman from Central Dauphin, and Dr. Henry from Harrisburg, who is our new appointed superintendent, who's amazing. So I also am going to get with Susquehanna's. And the reason why I picked those four is because the kids intertwine. And we should all be working together.
Yes.
You know, the reason why I started the group is because the increase in gun violence, the increase in the gangs, and it's starting young, you know.
It sure
So there's, and some of the youth that have been getting murdered, they're getting murdered in this part of town, but they're from this part of town. So it's important for all of us to work together.
Absolutely.
The superintendents are totally for it. They totally, whatever I need, they're available. A lot of times I think society meaning Harrisburg and our surrounding areas, we pin each school against each other. And I think it's cool in sports to a point.
To a point, yeah.
But listen, we got to work together.
That's
so
right.
we can't do the Hill, Uptown, Susquehanna, Harrisburg, like, because the kids are getting murdered and killed, and they're starting at 9 and 10.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the fact that the superintendents understand that and are willing to work together as a team.
Good. And you know, there are other agencies out there that I would highly recommend that and you may have already been in touch with them, but the ARC program with Mr. Jackson and Mr. Duffin,
Right.
they're just doing a phenomenal job, but they're working with some pretty, tough young men
Right.
who have a lot of potential, they really do, but,
Kevin, you mean Kevin?
Kevin Jackson?
Yes, so Kevin's kids come to my programs.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
So they've been I did a podcast actually with them.
Oh, okay.
I didn't air it, of course, because of respect for the kids and what they were saying. But yes, all the kids, it's actually 2 of them that I check on.
All right.
Outside of that, yes, I love those kids that come to them. So we had, with Conrad Lewis, we did an entrepreneur weekend, and they came to that, and they learned different things about entrepreneurship. And then I had another event that they all came to. Also, I brought in, so there's 3 doctors, I don't know their names offhand, and I feel bad for that. They're from Chicago.
Yeah.
They've been on Steve Harvey and everything, and they started, they grew up in the slums of Chicago, and they came together and started a group. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
And I brought him here last year, and I had him at John Harris, and his kids came to that.
Good.
So I do work with them.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
The new director of the Bethesda Mission is phenomenal. by the
Okay.
way. He has a tremendous
Yes.
background. We just had him on the show.
Okay.
This brother got degrees but also he went the hard way. He
Absolutely.
School of hard knocks as
Right,
well as
right, right.
So definitely meet
Okay,
him. He's
awesome.
a phenomenal, theologian as well as someone who's been there, done that.
Gotcha.
And I think could relate the way you do to the
Okay,
people. So
gotcha.
anyhow, just a recommendation. But good stuff though. So back to blessings to give.
Blessed to give.
Blessed to give. Blessed to give. So how do you get your funding? Do you need if you said something to the community right now, like here's how you can support Blessed to Give? What's the best way for us to support you?
How do I get my funding now? For the first, and I try to tell people this, they think once you get a 501c3, you're gonna get all these grants.
Yeah, right.
That's not how it works. Well, it didn't work that way for me.
Me either.
Neither for you, right? So the first couple of years, I was self-funded.
Yeah.
Donations here and there.
Sure.
You have to build your resume just like a job to get grants. So I am funded basically 80% now by grants. I do get support. There is like 5 or 6 companies that yearly will give me, a donation. I have a big partnership with Hollywood Casino.
Nice.
So I get funding and different things from them. So over the years, I've built relationships, and it's not just a relationship where they're giving me. I do stuff within them too, So it's a true partnership. So Highmark, Capital Blue Cross, it's a bunch of them that support Blessed to Give over the years after they see your body of work.
That's right.
But I do still get donations. You can go to my website, www.blessedtogivepa.com, and I have a donation button where you can give donations. But now I am mostly through grants and the corporate donations that I'm used to getting yearly. It's how I fund Blessed
Now,
to Give.
one thing, Carla, you just said, and I think this is important, particularly for younger individuals that are looking to get grants or going to entrepreneurship, and you said establishing relationships.
Absolutely, it's very
People
important.
do not know how important that is. You can't sit back in your office or at your house and think this is just going to happen.
Right, absolutely. You have to get out and establish real, true relationships.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I'm very particular about who I partner with. I'm very equity. Like I gotta know you're good. I gotta know your company's good. All money's not good money to me.
Amen to that.
So when I establish them, it's because I think they're a good company. So I don't just want you to give to me. I want to give back somehow. Can I volunteer at your organization? Like, it's a true, like meaningful, heartful relationship that I have with the companies that I have. So that's how I think it's important. Like, you can't keep asking without giving. You know, I think that's biblical, right?
Yes, it is.
I know that's biblical. I don't know the Bible, but I know it's in the Bible.
You remind me of James Lowes. We had James Lowes.
Oh, that's my cousin. Yeah.
He does from
James Lowes, no.
He says the same thing. He said, you got to partner with people. And he said, I go in and ask, how can I help you? You know, to the big corporations. You know, how can I help you? You know. So that's
I thought you said
stuff.
Jamie Crumble.
Oh, you know Jamie?
Yeah, I know Jamie.
Okay, all right.
My cousin.
That's your cousin.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
You're
important.
related to a lot of people.
I know, right?
Well, hey, and you were
Hudson.
It's
born and raised
Harrisburg.
here in Harrisburg, right? Weren't you?
Yes, I'm born and raised.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah, that's the way it is. But so you hold out hope then. You still hold out hope for our youth,
Absolutely.
and you see something good happening.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's important because so many people say, oh, man, we're really going down. We're having a, you know, the world's going to in the handbasket and all this kind of stuff. I said, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of people doing a lot of great things like yourself.
Right.
You know, so what do you see in the youth that keep you motivated and say, you know, we're in good hands? What do you see?
I think we are in crisis mode in Harrisburg.
Sure.
I'm not going to act like we're definitely in crisis mode.
Around the country, huh?
There should, right, absolutely, hands down. But there should be no reason why a middle schooler is walking around with a gun.
No.
Not that a high school should, but definitely not a middle schooler, right?
Yeah.
Some of, you know, I was talking to the principal and the staff yesterday, and I said, well, right now I'm transitioning out of Harrisburg School District, but the beauty is I'll still be there through my nonprofit. So
Okay.
everything I'm doing, I can still do through Blessed to Give. But I said, the minute I hear a teen got shot, I'm like, is it a rolling kid? You know what I mean? Like, please don't let it. Not that I want it to be any kid,
Right.
but I hope it's not one of our kids.
Yeah.
You know, when you work in the schools, they're all your babies. You know, and I'm family engagement. So I don't have like a role like a teacher in the school, but they all know like the ones that the cut-ups. Like, listen, I know the teachers piss you off. Just tell them, give you a pass to my room. You can come, you can vent, you can cut. I need you to get it all out. You know what I mean? Before you make a bad decision. You know. So I do a lot of one-on-ones, and I understand that a lot of them is just hurting for something. They're missing something, and. I mean, you can be the best parent in the world, you could be the worst parent in the world, and the kid could just still be missing something because it's not about, it's something that it's not, you can give your all, and it's still something, you know what I mean? And that's with us as adults, you know what I mean, in relationships. Like, so the kids are not, I don't give up on them because I think it's something I can get through to them, and it's going to change. It's
going to change it.
That's my hope, you know.
Yeah, that's why you're there.
And it works sometimes. Like, it really works.
Yeah,
you know, I've seen, you know, my resume speaks for itself. Like, I've seen kids come and even when I go to school and we have these walkie-talkies and they say, Nate is getting in trouble. I said, who? And I might walk up and you yelling. I'm like, hey, we don't do that.
That's right. Okay.
And when they see me, they bring it down. You know what I mean? It might only be for that moment, but you're getting through. You know, so.
I was glad to hear you mention engagement specialists.
Yes,
I'm glad to know that they still exist in the district.
Absolutely.
I always thought that was good.
Yeah.
And for folks who don't know anything about that, tell us your role.
Family engagement is so Harrisburg School District under Mr. Turman, the superintendent, I don't know, it was last year, a couple years ago, decided to make it a full-time position, because I think it was always there part-time.
Part-time.
But he made it a full-time position. Each school has a family engagement specialist. The point of the family engagement is to bring parents into the schools, which is important, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So not only parents, but to bring the community into the schools and engage. So we have monthly events for our parents to come into the schools and engage with the youth. So I think that's really important to have, and it's all different types of events, and the kids come too, and they get to do stuff with their parents, you know. So we have one at Roland coming up next month for Black History Month, where I organized, and we have the youth doing before, now, and then the future.
Okay.
So they'll find someone prominent in the Black history who they want to be like, and tell us what they did, tell them what they're doing now, or somewhere unless they pass, and then how are you going to be that person in the future?
Nice.
I like
And
that.
the purpose of that is that will hopefully bring the parent to want to come see their child.
That's right.
And then we'll family engagement.
Good, good, good. You know, I got to give hats off to Scott School a couple
Yes.
years back. They did Dads and Donuts.
Absolutely.
That was fantastic.
So all the schools do that.
They all do them?
So
now?
I
Okay.
had Chris Franklin,
Okay, oh, okay.
who's a good friend of mine. He came to my Dads and Donuts. Well, we don't call it Dads and Donuts anymore, Pastries and Pals,
Yeah,
because
I like that too.
it's bigger than just a father, like, because there's any male mentor in a child's life is allowed to come to it. So Chris came for my Pastries and Pals. He talked to the dads that came, or the uncles. And then after that was over, first period, he took all the boys in the Roland school and had a meeting with them, and did the basketball, and he mentored to them, and it was amazing.
If anyone doesn't know, Chris Franklin is one of the central figures of the Harlem Globetrotters.
He's actually the coach now.
He's the coach now. Okay, okay, yeah, we do get older, don't we? He can still go though. I know he can still go.
Yeah, he did good. He threw the ball from behind half court and made it, you know. And you know what's crazy is he walked in there and they was like,
Yeah.
and he started doing that, and
Got him right.
he
off
got
the
him.
bat.
That's
Got
what I'm
him.
saying. You got to meet them where they are.
Yeah,
And once he got that,
That's right. That's right.
he had no problems for
And
the
Chris
rest.
is actually a product of Harrisburg.
Yeah, Susquehanna
Actually,
Township
Susquehanna
graduate.
Township.
Yeah, yeah. Has
Graduate.
Has his master's degree and all that
Yes,
stuff.
so
Traveled
he's
the world.
awesome.
So there's some great people in our communities, and so I'm just glad for you and for the work that you're doing, because our youth need to be touched, you know, taught, and also loved.
Absolutely.
It sounds like that's what you're doing with your organization.
Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. Again, I want to mention the AXO program. Hey, we have a competition coming up on April the 20th.
Nice. 666.
April 26th, that's right.
Awesome.
And the competition will take place here in the city. And we've always had phenomenal success with the AXO program over the years. And we wanted to make it even bigger and better if that's possible, because it's been phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Thanks to the leadership of, you know, Brother Cobber Brunson and
Yes.
all the, you know, people that were involved. So anyhow, it's still going on.
I used to sit on the NAACP's
Did you?
as the youth advisor.
Wonderful.
I did
Good,
for
good,
like
good.
2-3 years.
Okay, good.
So I'm familiar with the program.
We'll be talking, lady, because we're going to blow this thing up. But anyhow, it's coming up real soon. So if you're interested, and I hope that you are, it's for 9th grade through 12th grade students. And we have a local competition and then a national competition. This year it'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina. And all of our gold medal winners will be going to Charlotte, North Carolina. So anyhow, if you're interested, give my wife, Pat, a call, 717-608-2302. And let's get you signed up. Let's get your young people signed up for AXO. God bless you for all that you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Blessed to give. And thank you for watching this program. We'll see you next time here on Life Esteem.
Awesome.
Goodbye. Yeah, good stuff.
Very good.
Yeah,
Your
very
energy
good.
is just
Excellent.
contagious.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you know Nicole Wilkerson?
She went to Susquehanna, but she's right.
I don't.
I think you're the Harrisburg.